Willkommen, bienvenue, and welcome. I am just another Pokédad, and if you know where I stole my intro from, you are my kind of geek. And I say geek lovingly. I am a lifelong geek and a nerd, and I know the difference between the two. This is the first official video on my channel. Thank you very much for watching. This channel is going to be dedicated to the Pokemon TCG, comic books, movies, Mumford & Sons, anything pop culture really that I find fascinating. As I said, I am just another Pokédad. I got into Pokemon as a bonding moment with my son, and you can watch his YouTube videos over at gamerboygenius. I'm going to post a link down in the description. Today I'm profiling a new deck I made with the new Amazing Gardevoir GX that's about to be released in Burning Shadows. This card is a game changer, truly. So this deck is the deck I am dedicating to it. So let's get to it. 3 Ralts. Here we go. That's your first step. 2 Kirlias. Got to get Gardevoir out somehow. And then we're going to be running 3 of the Gardevoir GXs. I obviously only have 2 at the moment, and they're both Japanese. But this card coming out, Burning Shadow, is going to be released in a few days. This card is the game changer. Its ability here is Secret Spring. Once during your turn, before your attack, you may attach a fairy energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon. That is awesome. Placing an extra energy each turn. Times 3, you are going to be going to the races with his first attack. Infinite Force. 1 fairy energy, 30 times. The attack does 30 times the amount of energy, 30 damage times the amount of energy attached to both active Pokemon. I mean, you can get, in one turn in this deck, you can get 150 damage just on your Pokemon dealing alone, than whatever they have on theirs. I mean, this is just stellar for 1 energy. GX attack, also great. Twilight GX. Shuffle 10 cards from your discard pile into your deck. That's the anti-Garbodor right there. Shuffle all your items back into your deck before you can get, I mean, 230 HP, that's tough to hit anyway, but this is just an awesome, awesome card. So, Gardevoir, he's your main, whatever, it is your main attacker in this deck. All right, the rest of your Pokemon lineup, we're going to run 3 copies of Eevee with the Energy Evolution. Attach a basic energy from your hand to Eevee, and you can search your deck for a card that evolves from this Pokemon that's the same type of energy. So we're running Fairy Energy, so that means Sylveon GX. You're going to evolve Eevee into Sylveon GX. You're running 3 of these, and mainly for Magical Ribbon. Search your deck for up to 3 cards, put them in your hand, shuffle your deck. See how this is going to work together? These 2 in concert. Magical Ribbon, 3 cards. Let's grab 3 energy. Double colorless and 2 fairy. Boom. Lay them down the next turn, all of them. You lay your double colorless for turn, attach your 2 fairies using your Secret Spring. This works so well together. They are made to work well together. They're just beautiful. We're going to run 2 copies of Diancie out of Burning Shadows for the first attack, Sparkling Wish. Search your deck for a card that evolves from one of your Pokemon, put it onto the Pokemon to evolve it, then shuffle your deck. If you can start with Diancie in your active position to start, boom, first turn that you can attack, and you can evolve one of your routes, you're going to be moving quick in this deck. That's the goal. Get your Gardevoir out as quick as you can. And then we're going to run 3 copies of Tapu Lele. Tapu Lele GX is a staple in every deck now, and this is no exception for the Wonder Tag ability. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to your bench, search your deck for a supporter card, reveal it, put it in your hand, shuffle. Grabbing your supporters, you can first turn Tapu Lele, you're going to set yourself up. Anything after that, you grab what you need. You hold Tapu Lele in your hand until you need to grab that supporter card. So that's your Pokemon lineup there. And that, now we're going to move on to supporters. We're running 4 Professor Sycamores. This is a deck you want to move through quick. I mean, you need that draw support. So 4 Sycamores. We're going to run 1 copy of N. Now, only 1. Now, normally you're going to run 2 or 3 of these in most decks. I've chosen to run only 1 because I'm going to try out Wick from Burning Shadows. Each player counts the cards in their hand, shuffle those cards into their deck, then draws that many cards. It's like N, but it's not based on the amount of prizes you take, and because you're hitting for so much so quickly, you're gonna take prizes quickly. But because of Sylveon GX, you can load your hand up. So Wick, you could gain card advantage over your opponent. Try and hit them when they're down to 1 or 2 cards in their hand. They're only going to get 1 or 2 back. Doesn't matter if they've not taken prizes. So that is why I'm running Wick instead of N, and I'm going to try that out. 2 copies of her in this one, and then 3 copies of Guzma, the new Lysander, but it's a escape rope Lysander. Switch one of your opponent's basic Pokemon, bench Pokemon with their active, so you get to choose. And then if you do, you switch your active with one of your benched. Now we've got some little tricks in here to work with Guzma, but Guzma's great. You want to knock something out, you pick what you want to knock out. Love it. Bridget. This is your first turn setup card. If you can tap a Lele for Bridget, search your deck for 1 basic Pokemon EX, which we're not running, or 3 basic Pokemon. Now, there's no errata yet, so you can get your GXs if you want to. But you have to put them on your bench, so this doesn't really count in this deck in particular. But you're going to get your routes and your Diancie if you have to with this on turn 1 if you can. Otherwise, Bridget becomes a brick in your deck. If you're not turn 1ing or turn 2ing Bridget, you may as well not be using Bridget in this. Next card I'm trying out is Olivia from Burning Shadows. Search your deck for up to 2 Pokemon GX, reveal them, put them in your hand, and then shuffle your deck. If you can DNC out to your Kirlias, and then Olivia, boom, next turn, your Gardevoir. It's nice. You can get 2 of them in your hand. The last supporter we're running is 1 copy of Skyla. Search for any trainer card, put it in your hand. This is so you can get those key things like either your stadiums or rare candies such as that. Okay, there's those. So now on to items. We're going to run 4 copies of Ultra Ball. It's your best ball. It's the big balls. Rare candy. 2 copies of rare candy. You only need a couple because you're only running 3. So if you can do that, and with Diancie, you don't really need them, but it's good to have as your backup. To get out, you want that Gardevoir out quickly. Next, 3 copies of Wishful Baton. This is a great card in this deck. If the Pokemon this card is attached to is your active Pokemon is knocked out by damage from your opponent's attack, move 3 basic energy cards from that Pokemon to your bench, to one of your benched Pokemon. You put this on your Gardevoir. You've got 5, 6, 7 energy on it. 3 of those can go back onto your bench onto one of your other Gardevoirs. If he gets knocked out, if someone manages to do 230 damage, boom, save some of that energy. Move it onto another Gardevoir. You move that up, knock out whatever's coming at you. Wishful Baton is just a beautiful card. Skyline for that if you need to. We're just running 1 choice band, mainly because your Wishful Baton is taking care of your job and on the things you need. But if you get Field Blower and you need to, throw out a choice band. Field blower. Speaking of, we're running one copy. This is mainly because this is an ability and you're subject to garbotoxin. So you want to save this for that occasion. If you're running up against a garb odor deck, you know, save this to get rid of those float stones or whatever you need to. Hold on to it. And again, you can Skyla for it if you have to. And one copy of Max Potion. We're not going to do a lot of healing, but every once in a while you just need to. And you need to save your, you know, if you want to just save yourself. The only thing I'm thinking of is I might not want that as much as I want Acerola. And Acerola is a new card to return that to your active, or return a Pokemon to your hand and all the cards attached come back to your hand. It's like AZ used to be, but better, because all the cards attached come with it. So that's my one trade-off that I might make, is I might be running Acerola instead of this Max Potion. But I don't have it right now, so that's my choice. We're running 2 copies of Fairy Garden. Each Pokemon with a Fairy Energy attached has no retreat cost. In this deck, self-explanatory, why you would want to run that. And then lastly is our energy. We're running 4 copies of Double Colorless, and then 10 Fairy Energy. And it's a lot of energy, yes, but that's the point of this deck, is 1, to never be energy poor, and 2, to be attaching a bunch of these to your Gardevoirs. I mean, if you can get, and you can, in one turn, you can get, you know, well, in one turn, you could get that onto Gardevoir. 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, boom. You know, next turn, you lay that, you lay 3 more of those, 300 damage in 2 turns. I mean, this is really, really kind of a sick deck. And I'm going to show it to you in a match against Dash gamerboygenius here in just a few minutes. Thank you so much for joining me. This is the deck that I'm going to play at the first tournament I can play at. I love this deck. Thank you so much for joining me today, and we will see you next time. If you liked it, please put your comments, hit the thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Thank you. I'm just another Pokedad. Thanks for watching my video.